semua buku dalam plastik sebab Assalamualaikum, hello everyone, so welcome back to another video. If you guys are new here, I'm Aiza of Bibliomom. In today's video, I'll be reviewing my reads in December 2021. Just to let you know that I review every single books that I have read within the previous month. I have read 5,796 pages across 22 books. I do not have any system for my wrap-up videos. I usually go from the top because I stack them like this. I actually wanted to do something different this year. Maybe I will make one video every week reviewing the books that I have read within that week. So please comment down below if you like that idea. Instead of me reviewing 22 books or more than that in one video, perhaps it would be not so overwhelming for you guys to watch a video that I review 5 books. I would like to know how much you have read in 2021. As for me, I have read 181 books. It sounds a lot, but in average, I only read 207 pages. In total, I have read 37,600 something pages. So for this year, I want to tackle a lot of my thicker books. I actually love reading thin books because it's a perfect fit in all of my handbags, and as a mother, I brought all the books, the pocket-sized books, whenever I went to the kitchen to cook and stuff. It's very convenient, you know. It's not that I read thin books for the sake of reaching my Goodreads challenge. Let's get into the video. The first book is Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. This is book number 1 in Robert Langdon series. I have read the Da Vinci Code, which is the sequel of this one. I don't know, I'm just weird like that. I found that I tend to read the sequel before the prequel of any series. I just don't understand. Here's a box set. So this is the first book, Angels and Demons. The second book is the Da Vinci Code, and the third is, I've forgotten the third, but this box set doesn't include all the books in the series, so I don't know why they make it like this. I gave it a 5 stars, and it is a mystery thriller genre. This follows Robert Langdon receiving a mysterious call from a man asking for his help to investigate this one murder that happened in his building. His company name is CERT, C-E-R-T. I can't remember what it stands for, but it's a scientific research facility. He doesn't want to take on the case until this mysterious man sent him a fax. Written in the fax is the word Illuminati. So this ancient brotherhood has been long forgotten until this happened. He was really shocked and he agreed on investigating the case. The person who got murdered and branded on his body with the word Illuminati, he founded the liquid that called antimatter. To discover antimatter is such a big thing. A drop of antimatter can literally blow off the entire Vatican City. When Robert Langdon arrived at the facility, they just found out the second antimatter, the big one, is missing, and it is placed under Vatican City in the church where the selection of the new pope is happening. They figure out that it can't be these Illuminati members that did this thing. It is really interesting to follow Robert Langdon as he reveals all the secrets and following the clues one by one. Dan Brown is such a legend, I can say. I'm really invested in all of his writings. Since I've read Da Vinci, I gotten myself the whole box set, and I even gave a copy of Da Vinci to my younger brother, and he really likes it. And then we actually kind of buddy read Angels and Demons, but I'm not sure if he had finished the book. Even if you don't want to read this, maybe you can watch the adaptation on Netflix. There is Angels and Demons, Inferno, and Da Vinci Code in there. So yeah. The next book is The T-Shirts I Love by Haruki Murakami. This is my very first book from Murakami. I am really intrigued by his book, but also intimidated by all of them because people has been saying that his books are a little bit heavy. I'm not sure what kind of heavy or what defines heavy in his works. Maybe it requires a lot of critical thinking. I am not sure, but It is mind-blowing that people would read whatever he published, like this one. This is basically about his collection of t-shirts. Who would read this kind of things, right? But I did read this and I rated this book 3 stars. One thing that I never expected out of Murakami is him being humorous. In one of the t-shirts, he got the t-shirt out of this promotion of his own new releases, and he said he would never ever worn that t-shirt because how embarrassing it is. Like, you are the Murakami, and who in the world would wear their own t-shirts? Like, keep calm, read Murakami. There's not much I could talk about this book, but it is really interesting. It is one of memoirs or semi-autobiography. Interesting for someone to remember the history behind every t-shirt that they own, where they got it. Maybe it's a gift, maybe they bought it from a thrift store. So yeah, the next book is The Whisper Man by Alex North. I have read one of his book, which is The Shadow Man. It's up there somewhere. Semua buku dalam plastik sebab persediaan banjir. Nanti aku keluarkan lah sebab menyusahkan nak ambil satu-satu. I rated this book 4 stars. It follows Tom, who just lost his wife, and he brought his son Jake, moved to Featherbank where he wants to start anew. This village is that kind of village that nobody greets anybody, and the house they are living is that one house in the neighborhood that looks really creepy, and people would stand in front of the house and take selfies. It begins when his son claimed that he heard a whisper at night. Before they move into this like spooky house, there's murders happen in that house. But before he purchased the house, he did not know all of this until creepy things begins to happen. He tried to put all his negative thoughts aside. I would not say that this is like a complete horror book, more towards mystery thriller. This is not something that you want to skim read because you will be missing a lot of important things. It's really satisfying. Go read this. Buku seterusnya adalah Puaka Kereta Sewa dan Puaka Pentas Dewan Sekolah. Puaka Kereta Sewa ditulis oleh Lavender Biru, Ruby Anas dan Sabrina Ismail. Puaka Pentas Dewan Sekolah ditulis oleh Sabrina Ismail, Laila dan Cik Puan Fifi. Dalam dua buku ni ada 3 buah kisah pendek. Agak mencabar aku nak review dan bagi rating sebab setiap daripada cerita pendek dalam kedua-dua buku ni sangat-sangat berbeza. Aku bagi dua-dua ni 3 bintang masing-masing. Memang seram bagi aku yang penakut. Aku dah baca 4 buku dalam siri cerita hantu ni. Dalam Puaka Kereta Sewa ni ada 3 buah cerita, iaitu Kereta Puaka Lavender Biru, nombor 2 Mini Cooper Laju oleh Sabrina Ismail, dan ketiga Penumpang Malam oleh Ruby Anas. Aku just boleh kata yang paling seram cerita pertama lah. Puaka Pentas Dewan Sekolah, cerita pertama Ulik Mayang ke Sauri oleh Cik Puan Fifi, Mawar oleh Laila, Merdeka oleh Sabrina Ismail. Cerita kegemaran aku adalah cerita pertama, iaitu Ulik Mayang. Sebab bagi aku, zaman berzaman kan, cerita Ulik Mayang ni memang seram. Tak pernah tak buat merinding kalau baca kan. The next book is by my favorite author, which is Norhafsah Hamid. I rated this book 5 stars. As you guys probably expected. Will You Stay follows Amy. She is the best friend of Sarah from the Letters to God series. Amy is a surgeon in training. When she first laid eyes on Rashid, she just couldn't place where she have seen Rashid before. It turns out she's seen him when she was in reading university that Sarah was studying before. Amy has another best friend, which is a guy named Hassan, and Hassan is also a best friend of Niza. The funny thing is, Amy has heard a lot about Rashid from Sarah. When they were studying in reading, brother Rashid proposed to Sarah, but she declined because she wants to focus in his studies. She's just not into brother Rashid. So through Hassan, Amy and Rashid became closer. They fell for each other. But as Amy is enjoying her most happiest moment in life, it took a 360 turn when something bad happened. Her faith, love and loyalty is put to test. If you love reading romance, I would suggest Norhafsah Hamid, especially if you do not want any unnecessary scenes, explicit scenes, because this is Sharia compliance. I would love to see more younger generations read this kind of books because it teaches us that what kind of love is permitted in Islam, and I think it's the best form of dakwah. Buku seterusnya adalah 400 Adab Pengantin, Kekal, Bahagia, Misi Masuk Syurga oleh Najwa Zelan dan Nur Aniza Azari. Jadi saiz poket ni sama macam siri 200 tip gaya Rasulullah. Tapi buku ni ada mahal sikit lah daripada yang tu. Yang tu bermula dari RM5. RM5 ke RM5.50. Dan yang ni untuk Sabah Sarawak RM12. Objektif utama buku ni untuk pasangan yang sudah berkahwin mahupun yang belum berkahwin, untuk menambah ilmu tentang rumah tangga. Dan dekat belakang-belakang ada juga parenting tips. Aku sukalah sebab bukan pasal rumah tangga je kan. Dan perbezaan buku 400 Adab Pengantin ni, dia ada dialog, tahu tak? Dia orang ada buat dialog macam ni, kira macam argument lah sebelum satu-satu topik diorang huraikan. Ada diletakkan firman Allah, perkongsian ulama, doa, selain tips tu lah. Dia bahagikan kepada dua macam ni. Sebelah ni amalkan, yang sebelah ni hindarkan. Tips nombor 221, mengucapkan terima kasih kepada pasangan walaupun pada perkara yang mudah. Aku rasa benda tu sweet sangat. Bukannya susah kan? Bukan benda yang berat untuk cakap terima kasih. Terima kasih sebab masak ke, terima kasih tolong jaga anak ke. Biar pasangan kita rasa dihargai. Ada doa mohon dikurniakan akhlak yang baik. Aku sukalah himpunan doa yang diletakkan dalam buku ni. Lepas tu salah satu contoh daripada tips parenting dalam buku ni adalah ambil tahu sahabat anak kita. Jadi overall, adakah buku ni menepati objektif utama penulisannya? Kalau korang rasa macam tips parenting tu tak perlu diletakkan, tapi ianya penting, tau tak? Sebab pengantin kekal bahagia bila ada anak. Kalau ada anak lah, anak tu bagai pengikat sesebuah rumah tangga. Bila kita ada ilmu tentang tips parenting ni, kita boleh kekalkan hubungan sesama suami isteri. Jadi tak bertelagah mendidik anak. The next book is Good Poems, American Places by Garrison, Kayler. I initially wanted to rate this book at least 3 stars, but when I got into page 255, I have an issue. Because of this one particular poem, I decided to give this a 1 star. To Mecca with Love by James Tracy. After work at H&M Market Liquor and Delhi, quietly pondering the choices life gives us, a 21st century natural selection, Coke or Pepsi, 7-Up or Sprite, Dr. Pepper or Mr. Pibb, Old English or Guinness in a can. Guinness is an alcoholic drink. Doritos and Encharitos, lottery or super lotto. Someone is haggling for a 40-ouncer, someone is stretching a lottery ticket, someone calls out for spare change. Behind the canned food aisles, underneath the glow of the far security monitor, I hear a man chant. The one who sold me last night's beer, chips and tuna. He is chanting devotion to Allah, to Mecca with love. Crouched on a cardboard flat, a lone tear rests on his cheek. A poster of a blonde straddling a beer can hears his prayers. The hum of the freezer harmonizes with him tonight. Someone is still haggling for a 40-ouncer. I walk to the counter to the man who will sell me tonight's beer, chips and tuna. He says, how's it going? I say, pretty good, same as usual. He says, anything else? I say, yeah, a newspaper. Walking away, I look at the front page headlines. Bloodshed as Israel retaliates in West Bank. 13 dead. This whole thing sounds like Islamophobic for me. Maybe I don't understand the poem, but never mind. The next book is Sea of Strangers by Leav. It's a poetry and prose book. I'm not really into Leav, but I have read I think 4 of her poetry books. I was reading the right prose at the right moment going into the new year. I'm just going to share with you guys this one, New Beginnings. If I have learned anything this year, it's that I won't ever be ready for what life throws at me. I will never be adequately prepared. I won't have the right words when it counts for something. I won't know the right answer when fate itself is staring me down. I've learned I can go on waiting for something sustained by hope and nothing more, or I can put it to one side and shrug my shoulders, bravely accept the fact that I can't keep my heart safe any more than I can stop love from taking everything from me. I have learned to stop saying yes when I don't mean it, to live as authentically as I know how, to allow the tips of my fingers to skirt the darkness as long as I remember to keep my eyes fixed on the light. And as one door opens and another closes, I will move forward with the knowledge that unlike so many others, I have another year ahead of me, another shot at making it all the way around the sun, and a chance to get it right this time around. I like it. I rated this book 3 stars. Have I said that? The next book is Iban Journey by Golda Mowe. This is the sequel to Iban Dream, but I read this one after reading the third book, which is Iban Woman. I'm always weird. I told you guys, I always start with the second book in a series. I just don't understand myself. In the second installment, we follow Nguyen, who's been chased away by the community because they believe he is cursed. With the company of a friend named Gungu, they embarked on a journey to start their own life away from their family, friends, and community. I think all the plots are significantly important that it is hard for me to share with you guys the synopsis. This book is character and plot driven, so you will not be bored. Golda Mowe just drags me on, and this is very unputdownable. I can feel this character's emotions and I feel their sufferings. It's full of suspense and heart-thumping scenes. Recommended. Such a rare occasions reading about whales. So I've read 2 books about whales. One is Call of the Whale. This is from the Warm Heart series by Xeon. It's a comic book. The other one is Illustrated Classics, Moby Dick by Herman Melville. This is such a depressing read because they killed. Well, I gave this 1 star and this one is 3 stars, while this one is about loving and taking care of whales. So Carl, the main character, he's a champion in the making in this swimming sport, but something happened to him, unable to swim again. So this is all about chasing your dreams and believing in yourself and the strength you have. Even though he cannot continue on being a swimmer and chase his dream, but it doesn't mean that he cannot do other things. As for this one, I don't think I want to elaborate because it is very unpleasant read.
3, 2, 1.